50, 45. There goes Davis.
Oh, my God.
Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Welcome in, everyone, to a brand new edition of the Dream Wage, episode 515. Wow. Today is April 10th, 2025, and Elvis, the Florida Gators are the national champions. How you doing, kid?
Yeah, I'm doing great, Dale. Was an exciting game, not gonna doubt it. Was a great game, couple double digits leads. But other than that, great finish, great start.
Yeah, what do you and all the people who said the tournament was bad have to say now after the Final Four and the national championship?
I'm standing on it. The tournament itself was bad, but the Elite Eight was pretty damn entertaining. I got to at least give it that. But the round of 32, round of 16, just less exciting than years past. That's all. I love the Elite Eight in the Final Four. It was my most profitable Final Four since the show began. So to me, I enjoyed it, but to me, it is a little more exciting when a Cinderella at least is in the Elite Eight. That's all.
It's like the saying says, it's not how you finish or how you start, it's how you finish. And we finished with a bang. SEC, I mean, who would have thought? Not just a football conference, her basketball conference as well.
NIL, man.
I was so happy for them. It's the third championship in school history. It was a crazy game, and you know they're comfortable from playing from behind. And the Cougars, I mean, you got to feel for Kelvin Sampson, the coach. I mean, I don't know if he'll get back to the national championship. I mean, this was one of his best teams ever. A lot of seniors, a lot of experience on that team, and you know, the Gators, man. Walton Clayton Jr. was in a sane asylum. He was in Alcatraz for the whole game, if I'm being honest. 1 for 7 from 3 in the beginning. He was just chucking shit up.
You look like me in the playground.
But honestly, the player of the game has to go to Will Richard. He was amazing. He kept him in the game in that first half, hitting 4 threes. He was getting timely rebounds as well. He had 18-8, and he also had 2 assists as well. But Will Richard, he kept him in the game. Alex Condon, I thought he had a pretty good game as well. 4 steals. He had 12 points. He had the diving play to end the game. But, you know, they just kept itching their way back. When they were down 12 with about 12 minutes, 11 minutes, I was like, I don't know. I know they always come back, but, man, this one was a little tougher, I thought, because, you know, they were playing well. Sharp, he was tough. I know he had the last 2 possessions came down to him, but he played well. LJ Cryer, we talked about, he played well. Roberts got the rebounds for us. We hit on that as well. But, you know, I thought Houston had it. I'm not going to lie. I thought Houston had it, but we did cash my plus 390 futures for the Florida Gators. But talk to me about the game for what you did watch, because it was a late game. And I'll say this, it started on time.
Yeah, it did start on time, so I got to give the good folks credit for starting the game on the actual start time. So give credit there. But like you said, I think it's going to be tough for the Cougars to get back, because I've been from the get-go. I said this team was frauds, because the previous 3 years they've been a top number 1 seed previous years, and they always get bounced early. This year, loaded with seniors, finally was able to make a complete run. And I'm with you, Dill. They should have won this game. You know, yes, they let multiple double-digit leads slip out their hands, but you got to give credit to Florida. You know, even without Clayton, who went back-to-back 30-point games,
yeah,
he struggled early on, and they were still able to climb back. You know, I feel like, Sharp had a good game, but to me, he struggled a little bit. You know, 1 for 7 from the 3-point line. I feel like Roberts, he could have been a little more efficient, especially down low. He cashed for us right there with the 8 rebounds, but 3 for 13, all in the paint. To me, that's just a bad night. I understand it was jitters and everything, big game and all that, but you got to do better from 1 for 7 from the 3-point line and 3 for 13 from the paint.
Yeah, 100%. And I thought the turnovers were really going to hurt them. 13 turnovers to 9. And honestly, I think Houston only had 1 in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
And they really, what were your thoughts on the officiating? Because I think that was a big, I guess, story.
The whistle was kind of in check in the first half. The whistle blew more in the second half. I will say that, but overall, I was satisfied from the refs. It to me, yeah, late call, here and there, but for the majority of the game, the refs didn't involve themselves too much.
So you don't mind in a game, whether it's college, NBA, it doesn't matter. So you think, hey, in the first half, whistle they let the boys play.
They let them play, yeah.
I like. But what do you say to the people that say, hey, I want consistency? Because in my opinion, the game changes. The game could change from the first half to the second half, and it could change how the ref is calling the game. I understand why the game. I think personally, the refs kind of blew the whistle and were whistle happy to kind of calm the game down a little bit.
Just a little
that's
bit.
what I think.
To all the people out there that say they want consistency, yes, I understand that part, but you know what's the difference is?
What?
Like you will agree with me, Dill. Is there a difference between a regular season game and a playoff game?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a difference between a national championship game and a game in November?
Yeah.
So if you want things to be called consistently, you're telling me you want a national championship game to be officiated the same way a game in November will be? I personally don't want to. I know me as a huge NFL fan don't want that, because we see how many times we come here on Monday, Tuesday, beating our desk saying that was a horrible call. The game came down to the call. How many Super Bowls it came down to the call? I'd rather have the refs keep their whistle in their pocket as much as possible and let the boys play. That's just my opinion, especially come playoff time. In the regular season, they're a little whistle happy. I understand that it's just not letting things get too out of hand. But come playoff time, I want to see as least amount of whistles as possible.
No, I would agree, and I think the game changes. I thought some of them were ticky-tack fouls that could have went either way, and I thought the game was getting out of hand. I think they called 5 fouls in a matter of 2 minutes. Yeah. I thought it got kind of out of hand.
They should have, if they were gonna do that, they should at least called it the way in the first half, because there was multiple, like even when 3 players fell on top of each other, no whistles was blown during.
No, they were falling on top of each other and they were running through screens. They looked like me. I was running through screens. I was like, okay, but I appreciate it because they let the boys decide it for themselves, and I have no problem with that. I just didn't like the inconsistency there. People were complaining about the refs. I really didn't think it came down to the refs. Now, did I think, honestly, I think the best thing that happened to Florida, which was the turnaround, I think around that 11 to 10 minute mark, was when, I don't know if it was Todd Golden or one of the assistant coaches or the team, they got the technical foul. They got the technical foul because I think they called 5 Florida fouls in a matter of 2 minutes. And it was just like, bro, are we just calling it on us, or are we going to call it both ways here? And I think Todd Golden just got visibly upset, and they called a technical foul on that. And after that, the whistle kind of went away for the next few minutes, which I think kind of let Florida, they went on an 8-0 run after that. They kind of got that timeout, that commercial timeout, kind of went on a run after that. So I think that's what really ultimately changed the game. Thoughts on the last possession? Kelvin Sampson, I don't know what he drew up, but he from what it looked like, they had a great shot. They went for the win with 12 seconds left. Are you going for the win? Because I probably would have went for 2 and just crashed the net and have all my big bodies go and get a rebound, because at a certain point they were manhandling Florida on the boards for a little bit. I know Florida in total out rebounded them, but only by 1. I think it was 40-39 with total rebounds, but I don't know, kid. I probably would have went for 2. And if I'm going for 3, I'm having LJ Cryer take the shot, not Sharp.
All right. Two perspectives. From a fan perspective, I appreciate
Mm-hmm.
him being aggressive. Now, as a Houston Cougars fan, I'm playing for overtime.
Yeah.
So if I'm a Houston Cougar fan or an alumni or something like that, I'm playing for the tie. Let's try to go win in overtime. Just because we have the experience and you've been more physical. Yes, the whistles got a little more blown in the second half, but Houston, for the majority of the game, except the last 10 minutes, were the most physical team and had control of the game majority of the time. At the end of the day, like I said, I appreciate the aggressiveness because you want to go out for the win. You don't want it to lay it all on Florida's hands. You want you want your team to decide the game. So I understand that from that perspective. But me, honestly, Dill, if I had to make the decision for the head coach, I'm playing for the tie. That's just me.
Yeah. No, I agree. Me and you are aligned. I probably would have played for the tie. You had 12 seconds to get to the board. And then even if you miss, you have a chance to foul them and then still get a possession back.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I thought that was very odd, but hey, they went for the win. And I appreciate that. As a fan, like you said, watching the game, I said, hey,
as a non-biased
Yeah.
fan,
I
it was
respect
great.
it.
It was entertaining. But as a Houston fan,
I didn't like it. Yeah.
I would like something more conservative.
Yeah.
That's all.
No, I agree. But I mean, let's just look at what they had to do to get here. And anybody who said Florida had an easy schedule, look at the SEC tournament. Ole Miss, Missouri, who's a top 20 team in the country. Alabama, top 10 team in the country. Tennessee, top 10 team in the country. Then they go into the tournament. Obviously, they played Norfolk State. We'll forget about that. They go on the ropes. UConn, back-to-back national champs, almost lost that game. They find a way to come back and win. Maryland, top 10 team in the country. Texas Tech, top 10 team in the country. Auburn, the number one overall seed, who was the number one overall ranking team for, I would say, majority of the season. And then Houston. I mean, that is a murderer's row who Florida beat. And you just got to give them credit, honestly. And I love to see Al Horford in the stands, too. Back-to-back national champ.
Yeah. Last...
He is.
Yeah. He was a part of that Florida team.
Yeah.
Him, Joakim Noah.
I was about to say, where's my boy Joakim Noah at?
You probably was there. I ain't seen him.
If he was there and they didn't put the camera on him, that's atrocity.
He probably wasn't there.
Come on.
He's probably living a great life. Shout out Joakim.
Is he still in the league?
Nah. He retired years ago.
That's sad, right?
Nah, he had a great career. What you mean?
He won a ring?
Not everybody can win a ring now.
No, but that's the problem. See,
he got a natty.
2. He got 2. But yeah, man, shout out Florida. Shout out Houston too, man. They had a great season as well. But I feel for Kelvin Sampson. I mean, when he went up and honestly, if I'm going up and they double dribbled or they traveled, touch the ball again.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just let all the clock die. I don't know. And I guess in the moment, it's hard to think that, but you got to feel for Kelvin Simpson because he was just sitting there like this. He was like,
he drew something up and they didn't execute it. That's what it came down to.
Yeah.
He drew something up and they didn't even. Well, I'm not gonna say try, but
no, they tried.
They couldn't execute it at all.
Yeah. Well, shout out Florida, man. National champions. Let's go to the NBA because, we had Taylor Jenkins get fired about, 2 weeks ago. We that was a head scratcher, but we could kind of rationalize that one. Memphis, we'll talk about them when we have our picks a little later on. I'm going to be fading them. But I kind of saw the ceiling with them. But then on Tuesday, man, we get the news that Michael Malone and also GM, they both got fired. They're both out. Lead assistant David Alman, he will now serve as the head coach. They did just have their first game. We saw Jokic, best player in the league, he speak on and say, hey, listen, it wasn't a discussion. It was just a decision. Like they did it. And at the end of the day, us as players just really have to accept it. And it's kind of mind boggling. And from everything that I've read, kid, the GM and Michael Malone really didn't talk. They didn't see eye to eye. And at the end of the day, they both got the boot, which I don't know. I guess as an ownership, they're maybe thinking, hey, we need a spark. We need something to go on. They just won the national championship. They won the NBA championship back in 2023, just 2 years ago. And this late in the season, what was it? 4 games left in the season. Something had to have happened. I really can't grasp or understand the logic behind it, but I guess they're thinking they need a spark, and Michael Malone just and the Calvin Booth, the GM, they needed something different. What are your thoughts on this?
This one was this was more head scratching than the Jenkins firing. Let's just start there. Mike Malone, to me, top 10-ish head coach in the league. I understand he might not have the best personality out there because he's a little rough.
He's old school.
He's old school. There you go. He's old school. He's unapologetic of the way he talks and speaks. I can respect that as a man.
I too.
But you got to put this in perspective, people. Right now, Denver Nuggets are tied for 4th or 5th, whatever you want to be. Kill me, don't kill me. But I can make the case. Besides an overachieving Lakers and Houston team, the Denver Nuggets are exactly where they're supposed to be. Right now, top 4 seed. They have Jokic, who's been playing like the MVP. They're pretty healthy right now. Rockets just had a little better of a season. The Lakers overachieved. What from the owners, from the front office perspective, what did y'all expect? To win 66 plus games like the OKC? I didn't see that coming. So I'm just basing off what I've seen this season, and what Mike Malone was able to do thus far, to me, has been a successful year. He won a championship just 2 years ago. To me, the Denver Nuggets, I don't have them as favorites to represent the West, but I give them a shot to represent the West. Now, without Mike Malone, I don't know if I feel that way anymore. So to me, it's just confusing on why you will fire a championship-winning head coach who's done that 4 or 5 games before the playoffs start.
Yeah,
that's just my thing. Is it expectations? Is it not being satisfied? Because if you ask about a handful, 20 other teams in the league, they would love to be in the top 4 seed of their respective conference.
I can make the argument it was shocking. I think the most shocking thing was the timing of the firing. Not that he got fired, because if I'm being honest, just to play devil's advocate, and I'll say this, I'll start by saying I'm a big fan of Michael Malone. I mean, and I'll say this, not to make it about the Knicks, but if the Knicks have an early exit in the second round or even in the first round after back-to-back 50-win seasons, they're going to fire Tibbs. I think that's inevitable as well. And I think the Knicks would love a guy like Michael Malone. That is what I wanted to say. But go.
I don't think a lot of teams out there wouldn't mind Michael Malone coming in and being their head 100%. Coach.
I just don't think this was totally blindsiding. I mean, change was inevitable, don't you think? I mean, the tension has kind of been rising from everything that's come out. Obviously, it's reporters in the Denver media reported it as a quote unquote Cold War, meaning these two, the GM and Michael Malone, just did not get along for whatever reason. I don't know, but they lost 4 straight. They were 11-13 since the All-Star break. And players are frustrated on the sideline. Vibes are low. And I think as ownership, they believed they had to move on from both men. Now,
but 4 days before,
that's
my thing.
Yeah,
and we seen clips resurface about Michael Malone blasting his teams in post-game conferences. But what do you want that from your head coach? If anybody out there that knows your team and bring it their 100% it that night, it's the head coach. So yes, don't get me wrong. Is he coming off a little rough? Is he coming off wrong a little bit for throwing his players under the bus? Yeah, maybe a little bit. But at the end of the day, I guarantee those boys went into work the next day ready to work. So
I don't think it's a popular move amongst the maybe the players, we don't know. But again,
Yeah,
for
we
the
don't
fan
know the
base,
relationship. You know,
but
he
vibes were
had.
not high.
Yeah,
I think that is a fact.
yeah, I could see that, but look at the Bulls in the '90s. What was the GM? He had
Yeah,
beef
but
with
but but
players,
E
though. But
but
at the
E
end of
that
the day,
that's a
that
different
didn't.
generation.
I understand that. I understand that. But at the end of the day, what was the end goal? To win.
Championship. Yeah.
To win.
No, and they're just 2 years removed. Let's not forget they just won the championship 2 years ago.
You
They
can
have
make
the
a year and a half.
yeah. Now, what is next? That's my thing. Like what's next for what does it mean moving forward? Because they didn't extend him. Obviously, the big question is now, what are they going to do in the playoffs, and what does the future hold for Nikola Jokic? They have to. If you're the Denver ownership, do you have to get approval from your MVP? Because if you don't, what are the odds he might leave?
I think you have to at least run a decision like this by him. I'm not saying the buck stop on Jokic's desk,
100%. Yeah.
but you got to at least let him know before it's officially breaking news everywhere. Hey, you know, we just want to tell you before it gets out there on the public that we're moving on from Mike Malone. That's at least something. But to me, if Jokic had a great relationship with Mike Malone, this could be a reason why he possibly leaves. But let's just say they didn't have the best relationship. We
No.
see them multiple times in on the bench during a game go at it at each other. So there's a small chance. I'm not gonna put a lot of it. I'm gonna say there's a small chance. Jokic probably has some in the background was like, we need to get this guy out of here. So we don't know. We don't know.
I think the Nuggets are dangerous. As long as Jokic is in his prime, I think the Nuggets are dangerous. But I think
Yeah, but Mike Malone gives them that edge.
But they could go out and get a coach. I think as long
I'm
as they
not
have
denying
Jokic.
they could go out of coach, but put it like this: do you think the Denver Nuggets could represent the Western Conference this year? Let me ask you.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
All right,
I don't know.
On Monday podcast, on Monday show, if I would have asked you that,
Yeah,
question,
I would say yes. Yeah,
that's my thing. You just took. I'm not gonna say it's not a sure thing, but you just took something away from a contender. Maybe not a contender on everybody's radar, but the Denver Nuggets, if healthy, they have a shot to represent the West.
and that's
now,
the problem.
Without Mike Malone, I think that shot is out the window.
And that's the problem too. You did have the injury part. I mean, Jamal Murray, he was out the last 5 games as well.
Jamal Murray's been out for the last 4 years for 20 plus games a season. I don't want to hear that.
I think regardless, it was definitely. It wasn't a shock that he got fired. It was the timing.
Yeah.
The last week of the regular season
is nuts. With
he's
the winningest. 4 games to go.
He was the winningest coach in Nuggets history. What you told me right before we started? What did Joe Mazzulla say?
Joe Mazzulla, he said, "I wake up every day thinking this might be my last one." I
actually love that.
Yeah, shout out Joe Mazzulla because he's leaving it all on the court every day. Because today might be his last. He ain't playing.
That's a guy you want to play for, if I'm being honest. But that's all we had in the NBA. Let's go to the gridiron. We're just about 2 weeks, or we're essentially 2 weeks away from the NFL draft. We're just 14 days away. 2 weeks actually from the date. From the draft. Have you made yourself a mock draft, or you've been researching? What are we thinking?
Not yet. Right now, I got my top 5. It all depends, because as a
top 5, if everything stays the same, what is your top 5?
Cam.
Oh, okay. You're going with Cam.
Cam Ward, number 1. Number 2, Abdul Carter.
Okay.
Number 3, Shador. Number 4, Travis Hunter.
And then who's 5? Who does the Jacksonville Jaguars get at number 5?
The offensive lineman Thompson. I think his last name is.
Let me see.
I think from Michigan, the center or guard from Michigan.
That's a corner. No, he's a defensive lineman, Mason Graham. Is that who you're thinking about? He's a defensive lineman. The offensive tackle is the best one is from Missouri.
It might be him then.
Yeah.
Because that's what the Jaguars need. They need to protect Trevor.
And they said there was reports today or a couple of days ago where in the spring, Trevor Lawrence is on a pitch count. They are going to be watching him very closely, which, they need to. I mean, kid, I'm glad you said that because it looks like from all the mock drafts that I've been seeing, hearing, reading, Shedeur Sanders is falling. I mean, he just took a meeting with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers is at 21. Some mock drafts have Jackson Dart getting. They need a quarterback as well.
Will Campbell from LSU.
Oh, Will Campbell. Okay, yeah, the offensive tackle. Yeah, he's a top 10 pick. He is fantastic.
In some mock drafts, they got us taking him.
You can't pass on Travis Hunter.
No, but that's not. Travis Hunter might go 2 or 3.
I don't.
That's what I'm saying. I'm giving you as a Patriots fan top 5 pick.
I think
I want to happen.
I think Cam Ward goes 1. I think Abdul Carter goes 2. I think Travis Hunter goes 3. I think you guys go either off. If those
I wouldn't mind trading back to number 6 or 7.
If those two are off the board, right?
Yeah. Like this. My dream scenario is number 1, Cam Ward, number 2, Shedeur Sanders, and we're going to either take a duel or Travis. That's my dream scenario. I don't want Travis to a duel 3 or duel to Travis 3. Because then for me as a Patriots fan, I say either get the offensive tackle, right, or trade back. Because we need a wide receiver. It's a lot of talent there. Not top 4, top 5 talent, but there's talent maybe at number 8, number 12, number 15. So I wouldn't mind sliding back if a duel or Travis Hunter ain't there at 4.
I just got a tweet from Adam Schefter. It says Abdul Carter's medical recheck in Indianapolis today showed that the stress reaction in his foot is healing. There have been improvement.
I wish it wasn't. I wish it wasn't.
There hasn't been improvement and no surgery will be needed per his age. It should be a non-factor with the teams at this point.
Fuck. Damn. I wish it was something lingering.
I just don't think the Giants are going to go for Shedeur, and I think he drops. I truly do. I think the Giants are going to say, you know what? We're gonna do the veteran thing for a year.
You got 2.
Yeah, we got 2. If they just win 7-8 games, I think that they have a solid defense. They have talent on the outside.
But they got Malik Neighbors. Let's just be
one. Yeah, talent on the outside. I don't know what it is, kid, but I just feel like the Giants aren't gonna go with a quarterback. You're gonna put 4 quarterbacks in the room. You know?
Don't get me wrong. Is it the smart thing to do?
No.
Are they gonna do it?
Hopefully not.
Hopefully they do.
Hopefully they do.
Hopefully they do. Nothing against Shedeur. I think he is a very talented player, but I could see why some mock drafts got him slipping. I even saw him slip into New Orleans, I think, at number 9.
I've even heard rumblings New Orleans trying to move into the top 10.
Yeah, so maybe there's New Orleans out there that's eyeing Shedeur Sanders. Me personally, I think Shedeur ends up going top 10 no matter what, because I highly doubt the Raiders pass on him.
The Raiders got a quarterback.
I understand that, Dill, but what's been the recipe? What have the Green Bay Packers been showing you for about 30 years now?
But that's not my boy Pete Carroll's recipe.
I understand that, but
Super Bowl winning coach now. National champion coach, too.
I understand. I just don't see the Raiders passing up on Shedeur at 7. That's all.
They're going to get Alshon. They're at 6. The Jets are at 7. They're going to get Alshon Gentry from Boise State. I think he's going to be a top 10 pick. Get the best running back in the country. You pair him with him.
I wouldn't doubt he's a top 10 pick. I just don't see the Raiders passing on Shedeur. That's all.
I think a team like New Orleans is more of a team that needs a quarterback than the Raiders. Why make a gamble on Shador or any of the quarterbacks for that matter in this draft outside of Cam Ward if next year's quarterback class is so much better?
But with Geno Smith, might be in a position to get a top 5, top 8 pick. Like
So you, as a, let's just say hypothetically, put your owner's cap on, you would take that gamble? You see,
it all depends who falls. Put it like this: I would draft Shador at number 6 if I'm the Raiders.
Really?
Yeah.
With Geno as your starter?
Yeah. Just because we know what Geno represents. Yes, he could probably win us 10, 9 games, but he's not gonna get you where your ultimate goal is.
That's fair.
And I can see, I'm not gonna say they're similar, but they could run the same playbook. It wouldn't be a bad idea for Shador to sit behind Geno for a year or two. Not at all.
I just don't think Shador wants that.
It doesn't matter what he wants.
Oh, I think it does. If he's
it
top
was up
10
to
pick,
him, he wants to go number 1 in Tennessee.
Yeah.
If he had the choice.
We will see. We'll try to get someone on here to talk about the draft and give out some bets, but we're just 2 weeks away. I always thought the draft, we don't need fucking 4 months after the season for the draft. Like, why can't the draft be sooner?
That's one thing I love about the NBA, because the finals are first, second week of June. The draft is June 28th.
Yeah,
June 27th.
Right to it. We don't need time. We got time.
And then you got Summer League right there.
Yeah.
Everything is on with the NBA. That's one thing I like. One thing I can give credit to NBA is not like it's a long period of time without any news.
By the way, do you know where the draft is this year?
The NFL?
Yeah.
It was Tennessee last year, right? Chicago.
A little up northwest, Green Bay at Lambeau Field.
Wow, tough. Nice in Green Bay. Tough. And the one in Tennessee last year was exciting.
It was
sucks that it was not this year with the first overall pick, but hey, to me, the city that hosts should have at least a top 5 pick. Green Bay is what, 17, 18, 20?
Green Bay. They
21?
are 22.
What type of shit is that?
Yeah, it's all bidding.
The top 5 team should be a host.
Yeah, that's fair. Because then you have to sit around and wait, and you know how long? 22. That's like a 2-hour wait.
Yeah,
easy.
Yeah.
Also, we do have news down in Miami. Tyreek Hill and his wife involved in a domestic dispute in South Florida in their condominium. The mother-in-law, I guess it's his wife, called the cops. He was getting aggressive, putting his hands on her. They said they've been in therapy and they haven't been doing well. Surprised?
Not at all, and that's the only comment I'm giving out.
Well, I have to blow my nose, so just elaborate just for like 10 seconds.
All right. For the people out there, this is a common issue, common theme with NFL superstars for some reason. And I'm going to just say hopefully Tyreek
hopefully he learns his lesson.
Yeah. First of all, hopefully he does learn his lesson. Hopefully he's not in any trouble. There's nothing, to be arrested or any reports or nothing like that. And hopefully him and his wife could settle down and rekindle their marriage before.
No charges were filed.
Yeah, it shouldn't be, man. At the end of it, she got to know her role, and Tyreek got to chill out as well, too. But she got to know her role.
All right. By the way, let's go to the MLB. Did you see Vladdy Jr.? 14 years, $500 million. I mean, that's incredible. It was officially signed yesterday. Monumental. No deferral deal. Keeps a homegrown star in Toronto for the rest of his career, probably. I'm happy for the fans because the Blue Jays, they always strike out on big time signings. So and it kind of looked bad in the offseason. They weren't able to get a deal done. And Vladdy was just like, you know what? Listen, couldn't get a deal done. I guess we'll look towards the offseason, but I'm going into this season on my last year on my deal. Didn't look good. But then something happened. 14 years, $500 million is the third richest contract in the offseason. I think it's deserved.
Yeah, I think the number is just about right. Vlad Guerrero is a talent. One of the best players in all of baseball, especially when he's healthy. And I understand Ohtani, Juan Soto, those guys are a little out the realm. This is more of the ballpark where is best for players and owners, because what those guys were getting, Ohtani and Soto, it's too much. 500 million, 14, 15 years to me is a great deal for both sides. Now, do I think he's gonna spend the rest of his career in Toronto? Absolutely not. But
Oh, really?
Shout out Toronto for taking care of Vlad Jr., keeping the superstar homegrown. I hope he plays his whole career there.
Why don't you think that?
When the last time a superstar player has played their whole career in one team?
Derek Jeter.
And probably will never happen again. I'm telling you right now, Phil.
After a big contract, though?
Yeah, he's gonna be traded. He'll be traded before.
You think Juan Soto stays for the Mets for his whole career?
He'll be traded by 2031.
Wow.
How
about I don't think so. How about Mookie Betts or Shohei?
See, Shohei might stay the whole time. That's different because Shohei already switched teams.
Mike Trout, he stayed with the Angels. Do I agree with it? No, because Mike Trout is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He should move because at a certain point you gotta want to win, and you're not gonna win in LA right now.
Mike Trout might be the next one, but I'm just saying in recent years, since Derek Jeter, nobody has done it. Not even Bryce Harper.
He is a fraud. He left and they winded up winning.
It is like that. But
I think he'll stay. I mean, since coming into the league, he's a top 10 hitter. That is just undeniable. His numbers have speak for itself. When he's on the field, he's a top 10 hitter. I'm happy for the fans. And the agent, whoever's getting his deal done, or working through those contracts, smart. He's getting 325 of it through a signing bonus, and he's getting it partially throughout the year because there's no state tax. So it's smart. He's very smart. He's getting most of it up front now, which, to your point, I mean, he's going to be easier to deal if they do want to get rid of him. The contract's going to be easier to deal. But I am happy for Vlad. I'm happy for the fan base. But to be honest, your team is in the AL East. Are you really as scared of the Blue Jays? I'm not even trying to be mean, but they're not. They're no one. They're not threatening.
Never in my life has the Blue Jays been threatening. Yes, has it been good for a couple seasons in my 30 years of living? Yes. Have they won a World Series in my 30 years of living? No.
What's the most memorable?
I think they won it, 97? So technically they did. I didn't witness it.
I'm looking right now.
Yeah, 96,
92.
The Blue Jays won in 97, I think. 96. Remember he hit the walk-off?
I'm trying to see if fucking Wikipedia is trash. But while I look this up, what's the most memorable Blue Jays moment in your lifetime?
It might have to be Jose Bautista's walk-off.
Yeah, and that's sad.
Yeah,
Same.
It might have to be that, I'm a big Roy Halladay fan, but he didn't.
R.I.P.
He didn't do. It's not like it's something I remember, like from the top of my head. He did there. Maybe Frank.
92, 93. They won back to back in 92, 93.
Yeah, not in my lifetime. Didn't happen.
Yep. I agree. Roy Halladay, and it's sad because R.I.P. Roy Halladay. He was amazing, but we know him from the Phillies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was good on the Blue Jays, but he was really good on the Phillies. And yeah, the bat flip in the playoff, and that was their last playoff win.
That's crazy.
I'm just saying, like,
like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Shout out Jose.
Yeah, no, shout out Jose Ramirez, but Jose Bautista. But yeah, I think that was the last thing I remember too. So
it has to be that. Yeah,
it's sad. The bat flip was elite, though.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best.
The crowd. Honestly, I hope the Blue Jays make the playoffs.
You almost said Raptors.
I almost said
they won a ring before. for them. All right, kid, let's get to these picks. Before we do that, a quick word from our sponsor. We're brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV. Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks. It's just a kick, just like how we like our lives, whether it's Huckleberry playing a round of golf with the boys or a new flavor, jalapeno, watching the NBA. It doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid. Let's go to the NBA. There are only 5 games on the slate today. We're getting ready for the play-in starts next week. By the way, get a haircut?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it looking sharp.
Yeah.
I honestly, I gotta get one, man. I haven't got one in a month and going away on Easter, but yo, your shit was sharp. I didn't notice just till now.
Yeah, I cut it down too. Look, I trimmed it down. I haven't cut it this low in
you haven't cut it low in
years.
You look young now, kid.
Yeah.
Okay. You're over here talking about 30 years of living. I'm like, yeah, you don't look past 24. You getting ID'd?
Yeah, I got ID'd yesterday.
Really? See?
Yeah, see, that's crazy. You know, I look young. I'm thankful. Shout out my mom and my dad. Still look young. But
it's good because when you're older, you're gonna look young.
Yeah, for sure. My mom looks young, so I can't wait till I'm old so I can look 40.
Yeah. Good genes. All right, kid. Let's
started it off 7:30 start. My Brooklyn Nets taking on the Atlanta Hawks. To be honest, the Hawks are a pretty good team. They're a good team. They're not good enough to lay 13.5 points against the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn, in the trenches. I could make a case we've been playing a little better than them recently. Last 5 games, we're 3-5. Give me the plus 13.5 at home. Don't get me wrong, Atlanta's better. And honestly, as a Nets fan that wants a chance at Cooper Flag, I honestly hope we lose. But we're going to cover the number. Come on now. 13.5 is just too much, people. And then I got one last play for tonight. It's going to be a good game. Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies won 3 straight since firing Jenkins now. Interesting. Minnesota last outing blew a 30-point lead or 27-point lead. I think they take care of business tonight. Give me Minnesota. I'm not going to say the L word, though, but I like it a lot. Give me the minus 102 on the money line. Still like it at minus 125, minus 2. I think the Timberwolves cruise tonight into a win. Give me the Wolves tonight on the road.
Yeah, 2 plays here for me. Going to go to that Knick game. Knick Pistons probably going to play each other in the first round. And I don't think we're going to show everything. I don't think either team is going to show everything or what they have formations. And the total went up from 222 to 228. I see 229s out there. I think it's gone a little too high. I'm going to take an under here. I think the number's gone a little too high. So I do like the under. I don't think they're going to be showing each other everything that they have when they're going to play each other in about a week or so. So I'm going to take the under there. And I agree. I'm going to take the Minnesota Timberwolves minus 2. Since March 1st, Minnesota 5th in the league cleaning off the glass. They're great on the board. They're a top 7 team in points per 100 possessions and points allowed. And they're great on both sides. They play defense. They're good on offense. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not really high on Memphis. I don't think they're that good of a team. The advanced metrics and the numbers really don't indicate that they're that good of a team. Got to check the injury report. I don't know if Ja will play. He had a good game the other night, but I'm going to take Minnesota. I do think they're the better team, and I think that the numbers indicate that. So, yeah, minus 2 at minus 113 as well. Let's go to you said you had an NHL play, kid. What do we like here?
Yeah, I got only one. I spoke to Cuddy. He said, I'm going to give you a dog. He said Detroit Red Wings taking on the Florida Panthers. He said, Cuddy, this is a dog. Plus 180 on the money line. I said, you sure, Cuddy? He said, Cuddy, I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna play it safe for the people. Give me the +1.5 puck line at -140. I think Detroit can
Mm.
lose by one. They're on the road. It's a little hot in Florida, much hotter than it is in Detroit. Give me the +1.5 -140 with the Red Wings.
I love it, kid. I got some. I'm gonna take the Washington Capitals and Caroline Hurricanes. The Devils are gonna be playing them in the first round of the playoffs, kid. I'm gonna take their team total. Canadians over 3.5 goals. I like that. Let's go to the Buffalo Sabres and Columbus Blue Jackets. Gonna take the first period over 1.5 goals. It's a little chalky, -150. I also like the over for the game, 6.5 at -120. I do think we're going to see some goals, especially from maybe Tage Thompson. Anytime goal scorer at +140 as well. He has a goal in 5 straight games, 11 goals in 12 against the Jackets as well. So he plays well against the Columbus Blue Jackets. I was looking at the Chicago Blackhawks and the Boston Bruins, maybe Dave Pastrnak over anytime goal scorer, but it's at -110. Really don't want to lay juice here with David Pastrnak. And then the last one I had Winnipeg Jets with Connor Hellebuck. They have the best goalie in the league against the Dallas Stars, who've been playing really well. I'm gonna take the under 5.5 total at -110. Kid, and let's end it. Or no, we got UFL. I forgot about that. Let's go to baseball. We do have some games going on right now. Do we have any live bets? Or we got Twins, they're up 2-1. Rockies up 1-0 at home against the Brewers as well. Angels continue to win as underdogs. I got the over hit on that for me. So 1-0 on the day for me. I do have a few pending. Kansas City needs to step it up. They're down 2-1, and then I took Milwaukee. But we do have your Boston Red Sox at home against the Blue Jays. We have Atlanta against Philly as well. Anything we like here?
Yeah, the Red Sox at home taking on Toronto Blue Jays. Chris Bassett on the mound, been looking good so far. We got Walker Bueller. I do think I expect him to pitch a little better tonight. Our bat's been struggling. I caught a better number earlier. I'm under 9. I still like the under 8.5. I think we went under 3 straight games ever since we scored about 18, whatever runs we scored that game. We've been struggling. I expect our bats to be a little quiet once again. Give me the under 9. Still like the under 8.5 at -120 as well. And I'm on
Yeah.
Kansas City Royals right now, -125. So it's not looking good, people. Not looking
Well, the Brewers just tied it 1-1, so that is good for us. William Contreras hit a double deep to left field, which is good for us. Yeah, I like the Blue Jays team total over 4.5. I mean, their offense has really gotten going. You guys have gone cold last series. And yeah, I'm gonna just fade. I think it was
Bueller.
is Bueller. Yeah, Walker Bueller has been bad the last 2 games as well. So gonna take that. And then the last game, Spencer Swellenbach against Jose Luzardo, who's actually surprisingly looked really good the first 2 games of the season for the Phillies. But Swellenbach at home, he's looked really good. He has yet to give up a run in 2 starts. I say what you want about the bats for the Braves. They've been obviously underwhelming, but at home, this should be a good spot for them. There's a reason they are favorite. I'll die with them. I'll take a stab here with the Braves here at home at -118. Kid, back-to-back 3-1 weeks for me in the UFL. We are on to week 3 now. We have 1 Friday game, 1 Saturday game, and 2 Sunday games here on the docket. Excuse me.
Bless.
Thank you. Allergy season. But let's go to the Friday game. Birmingham Stallions taking on the Arlington Renegades. Stallions laying 3.5. First home game for them. Total is at 38.5. What do we like here?
To be honest, I do like Birmingham at home. I don't like to lay the 3.5 here. Don't get me wrong. Arlington has been playing better. They've been playing good so far. Been impressive. Can't lie. These first 2 weeks of the season. But in my opinion, Birmingham is the better team here. It's just I'm not there yet. I'm not seeing what I saw last year from Birmingham, so it worries me a little bit. But I do think they will take care of business. I'm just not gonna lay the 3. If anything, put them on a money line parlay.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the next game. Houston Roughnecks, your Houston Roughnecks on the road taking on the Memphis Showboats. Memphis, they've been playing a little better. They are, like I said, they are 4.5-point favorites here at home. Total lowest total on the board, 34.5. What do we like here?
Well, both these teams combined for 20 points last week. I don't expect much from Houston offensively. Memphis could have a day, but give me the under 35.5 there.
Wow.
Uh, I do lean with Memphis as well, but I'm gonna just take the under. Let's take that. What looks best in my opinion. Instead of touching the side, let's go with the total. They'll give me the under 35.5. I don't expect much from either offense, but I honestly don't expect much from Houston Roughnecks.
All right. By the way, I didn't say it, but I am going to take Birmingham, lay the 3.5, and then I'm going to lay it as well here with Memphis. I think they're really good, and Houston is just a fade for right now. You can't back them. You're diving under. That's very scary. 34 is very low, but I agree.
35.5, but I'll still take the under 34. I'll say Houston puts up 10. And I say Memphis 18 to 21.
18-3. I just don't see where the points are coming from for Houston. So let's go to Sunday, noon o'clock kickoff. Michigan Panthers at home hosting the San Antonio Brahmas. Michigan laying 5.5 at home. Total is at 35.5. Another low scoring, low total game. Michigan, really good defense. What do we like here?
This one I do have a side for. Give me the -5.5 with Michigan at home. Wouldn't be surprised to get another pick six. Like you said, defensively, they're pretty good. And the Brahmas, they're not horrible. It's just I expect Michigan to take care of business at home. At least to win by a touchdown. Give me Michigan Panthers -5.5 at home.
I love it. Yeah, I'm going to lay it here with Michigan as well. It's just, I don't think right now it's profitable to take dogs in the UFL. We've seen it. I mean, what dog has won outside of DC?
In week 1, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. So I just don't think it's profitable, especially on the road. Michigan is a much better team. I think they will win easily here on Sunday at home. Let's go to those DC defenders on the road against, I think, a true home field advantage in St. Louis at the Dome. They're laying a touchdown now. Now, last year in the first season we started covering this league, the highest spread used to be 6.5, 7, 8, if that. I mean, early on, we were seeing laying 9, laying 10 last week, and they covered. Now, laying 7 at home, St. Louis Battlehawks. DC back to a touchdown road underdog. Total, it's high, 38.5, kid. Can DC bounce back?
I don't know if they bounce back, but I do lean them with the cover. I would have loved the 8.5 because I do think they could keep it close. But I can't deny St. Louis so far has been the most impressive team thus far. I'm gonna take the under 38.5. I think St. Louis has a good chance to cover, has a good chance. But if I had to come down to it, I'd take the +8.5, +8. And I think St. Louis just takes care of business. I do think they win. But I say St. Louis 24-13. Give me the under 38.5. DC scores around 10 to 13 points.
But you still would lay the 10 then. That's what it looks like.
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 21-13. So
yeah, I
wouldn't be surprised if DC backdoors covers. But St. Louis has been so far the best team in the UFL, in my opinion.
I am going to DC, I think the first week of May. So in about a month time, I'll see if the DC Defenders are playing a game at home. I'll try to hit a game. I've always been wanting to go to a UFL game, but haven't gotten the chance. Whatever happened to the Jersey Generals? Remember them?
Yeah.
The USFL.
USFL. Yeah.
Shout out that league.
Mm-hmm.
That was a better league in my opinion. It was better. It was better.
Yeah, because they have the Generals.
Exactly, because they have the Generals. Kid, big weekend in the Octagon down in the 305 UFC 314 down in Miami. Your boy Volkanovski trying to get that belt back. Patty the Batty is fighting. You're gonna be watching.
I have to. I was even talking to Joey. He's talking about in May UFC. Go to that event in Jersey again. So I told him most likely down. What is June or May? I forgot already.
It's June 7th. It's the first weekend of June. It's at the Rock, Brick City, Newark, 316. 2 pay-per-views away.
I might have to go. I told them if the price is right, I'll probably go. Definitely gonna be tuning in this weekend. And did you saw the video of Patty tapping out like 10 Marines in a row?
I did see that in under like 2-3 minutes. I saw that.
Legend.
Yeah, that was sick.
Shout out to all the people that serve.
I like my heart wants Michael Chandler to win, but my pockets are betting Patty.
Yeah.
I just he's good, man. He's good.
Nah,
and
I'm not gonna hold you. If I was betting, I'll do TKO, Michael Chandler, submission, Patty the Batty.
Kid, any last words before we get up out of here?
Go Timberwolves.
Wow. I love it. Well, good luck this weekend. Enjoy the games. And we will see you guys